This is Canada. This is the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. It holds Canada's most paramount laws.
The laws consist of mobility, legal rights, democratic rights, freedom, fundamental freedom rights, equality rights, and Aboriginal and language rights.
Bob and Jim are local politicians running for mayor and are at their local grocery store, handing out pamphlets about their upcoming election. Jim, being a Mormon, he wears a cross necklace as well as a shirt showing the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. The Charter deems it acceptable because everyone in Canada is allowed to freely express their beliefs. Bob, being an atheist, is very vocal at that and has very strong beliefs, which is also allowed. The two begin a verbal altercation that ends with Bob hitting Jim right in the face. A police officer charges Jim with assault and reads him his rights. When being arrested, you have three rights. You have the right to know why you're being arrested, to have a lawyer present during detainment, and the right to a fair trial, which may result in release. Jim presses charges, and they now have to have a court case to decide fair resolution. The judge may only hand down sentencing based on relevant evidence and not based on prejudice, hence justice being blind. Bob is found guilty of assault and now has a permanent criminal record. Now known for his bigotry and violence, not only does Bob lose the election, but he gets dirty looks wherever he goes. He decides to move to a different province so he can have a fresh start. And thanks to mobility rights, even with a criminal record, he has the right to enter, remain, or move about Canada freely. Bob moves to Quebec, which is coincidentally having an election, and as long as you're 18 years or older and a Canadian citizen, even though he has a criminal record, he still has the democratic right to vote. Bob moves into his new house, and his new neighbor is of First Nation descent. He tells Bob about his stories of when he used to live in Calgary, and the city of Calgary wanted to build a ring road, but that infringed on the treaties that they made with the Canadian government long ago. So the Canadian government ended up giving large sums of money to the First Nations people because of those treaties. And those are the Aboriginal rights that they gained through Canada's plight. Bob had another neighbor, which was of Ukrainian descent, and he told Bob about internment camps in World War I. Canadians put Ukrainian immigrants into these brutal internment camps during the course of World War I. These camps made the Ukrainians do free labor through the course of the war. These camps were nothing like summer camp, but they were more like prisons. And not only did they make the Ukrainians do free labor, but they infringed on one of Canada's most prime laws, which was equality. The Ukrainian Origin Recognition Act encourages the idea of multiculturalism. This dark splotch in history is forever part of Canada's multicultural heritage. Bob is at his local supermarket and overhears these two people speaking Italian. Bob confronts the two and tells them that this is Canada and they need to speak English. Bob continues his rant and the two get fed up, so they call over a police officer. The police officer confronts Bob and tells him that his bigotry will not be tolerated in Canada, as Canada is a bilingual nation that supports multiculturalism, and it is one of Canada's most fundamental freedoms that you can practice any language.